Good afternoon, and welcome to another African American Quilt Circle of Durham Meet the Artist conversation. My name is Andrea Carter, and I am the co-owner of Ngozi Design here in Durham, North Carolina. I'm currently working as a textile artist, and I'm also a proud member of the African American Quilt Circle.
I'm thrilled to be here with Linda Dumas Wade, today's guest, and sartorial griot to celebrate our military veteran
members and loved ones. Renowned author, researcher, and family historian Alex Haley stated that when a griot dies, it is as if a library has burned to the ground. Information was passed down orally through generations, and now we're blessed to have this opportunity to help continue and preserve a rich legacy of creativity, resilience, and service through the art of quilting. Please allow me to read a few quick highlights about Linda before we get started.
Linda Dumas Wade of Zebulon, North Carolina, is a native of Lexington, Kentucky. Linda first joined the African American Quilt Circle of Durham in 2002.
She specializes in hand-painted art quilts. Linda is a service-connected Vietnam-era veteran. She participated in the Durham VA Creative Arts event in the early 2000s under the VA benefits. Linda attended Sinclair Community College, obtained an associate degree in executive secretary word processing, and also took 2 years of commercial art. She attended the Riverbend Art Center for silversmithing and jewelry making classes, and is self-taught in other forms of art, such as painting, quilting, and ceramics. Linda was a member of the Franklin County Arts Council from 2010 to 2020. She served on the board and on the diversity team. She also served as the instructor of Sip and Paint for the Lewisburg Senior Center and currently hosts classes for the Artists Art Center in Spring Hope, North Carolina. Linda is the curator of Musty Folk Art, African American, and Native American heritage art. Her folk art has been exhibited at Raleigh's Triangle Arts Gallery,
Knightdale, North Carolina Town Hall, Franklin County Arts Council, the Raleigh, North Carolina Museum. Her work is exhibited and can be purchased at the Artists Art Center. Please visit Art Quilts by Linda Dumas Wade on that Facebook page.
Her Musty Folk Art can be viewed on her Musty Folk Art Facebook page. Linda has shared with us some beautiful photos of herself in uniform, her many awards, as well as some of her quilts.
Linda, we certainly thank you for your gifts and talents, as well as your service to our country and your community.
Please forgive me in advance if this sounds more like an interrogation than a conversation, but I don't want to overlook important parts of your experience for our viewers.
Now we can get into it. How did you first get into quilting, and who taught you how to quilt?
I first got into quilting because my sister was a member of the AAQC 2 years after they was established. Okay. And she would beg me to get into the group. And so she finally made a deal that if I painted on the fabrics, she would quilt it.
Red, White, and Blue, completed in Linda's early days of AAQC for Black History Month as a salute to Black servicewomen. Each star has the name of an honorable Black female or group. Each tag has a little history of the women.
So I took it in, but we only got one quilt done the whole time.
The second quilt is My Hanuna's Transition. Linda worked on this quilt during her sister's illness. They would discuss different types of African or Native designs. Linda's sister Hanuna was her biggest fan, who supported Linda in anything she did. During her last days, they talked about her time and life experiences. One was that Hanuna loved to come out to Linda's house in the country to watch the dragonflies' arrival. She loved them so Linda put dragonflies on the quilt. Dragonflies in Native American symbols means happiness. As Hanuna was dying, Linda started painting butterflies. Butterflies represent transition in both African and Native American culture.
So that's how I got into the quilt group.
What techniques are your favorites?
My favorite is just painting on the fabric.
On the fabric, okay. But are there particular colors, patterns, or symbols that you often use or return to?
I like bold colors. Mm-hmm. I like ethnic colors. And I use a lot of African and Indian, Native American symbols and signs and designs in my artwork.
Okay. Well, you started quilting after the military. Um,
Yeah, yes.
and some of the ladies that I talked to, were saying that they weren't quilting when they were in the military, but some of the things that they were learned in the military helped them in their discipline of quilting. Is that true for you as well?
Well, I knew how to sew when I was in the military. I did a lot of sewing.
Yeah.
My sister also, Hanuna, who's in the group, when my mother passed away, she would come home and teach us how to sew.
Okay.
And so I knew the sewing techniques, and I had already was helping her sew through the years way after the military.
Tell me a little bit about the painting. I know that that's your favorite part of the process. How does that connect with your military experience, if it does?
Well, I've always been sort of an artist. So when I was in the military, that's what I did on my spare time. And, I painted. But other than that, I didn't have any connection with the organization with my arts and my paintings. But I did do some during the military, during my time, on my spare time.
Were there any folks who served, women or men, who served with you that were, had a kind of an artistic bend the way you did?
No, I had a really rough time during my last part of my service. So I didn't really get involved. I was already, didn't know it, but I was already suffering from PTSD. That's a traumatic thing that goes on in the military. So I wasn't really socially adapted at that time.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, I can only imagine. I'm not a military vet, but I can only imagine that type of experience and how it would affect, your life and your day to day. Do you feel any particular responsibility or inclination to have some of those feelings or some of those experiences come out in your work?
I have had feelings of that in my work, particularly when I did my piece on PTSD.
Mm, okay.
I did that piece in 2013 for the VA in Durham. And it was hard when I got into it because it brought back those PTSD things. It brought back the memories of when I was in the military. So after that, I sort of got away from that because it interfered with my creativity.
Well, this isn't one of the questions that we talked about or that you might have reviewed, but I'm wondering, and you don't have to answer if you're uncomfortable, but I was wondering if you have any advice or any comments that you might want to share with women who are in the military now or are thinking about getting into it, who are artists, and how it might help them.
Well, the only thing I can say that it does help. It keeps your mind when you're creating, and it keeps your mind occupied. It's like a therapy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I would give the advice that stay focused on your inner expressions so that it can sort of put a cloud over that thing that's going around you, while you're in the military or out the military. Uh, it helps. It gives you a time to, how you say, be comfortable. Because there's a lot of things that go on with PTSD that a lot of people don't understand. Once you get it, a lot of us already have PTSD, especially the African American people, because of our history.
Mm-hmm.
We already deal with that. But when you get that added thing on top of it, you have to learn how to control it. And through the years, I might go off of the subject, but through the years, I didn't know what was really going on with me as far as PTSD. It really, my family diagnosed me as having PTSD. So and then I seeked help through the veterans for that. And it does help. And I've learned with my age, I will be 70 soon, but I learned with my age that I can't control it. I can't get rid of it, but I can control it. And that's how I do. I control in my arts, in both, my quilting and my artwork. I control that feeling. Every now and then, you have different life expects that triggers you. So there's triggers, but with me, I stay in my art. I try to stay in my art as much as I can to help that situation. That's the advice I would give to anyone who in the military that has experienced that they have something that helps them stay busy to keep them in control.
Yeah. Oh, that was a beautiful response. Thank you for that. I think it makes me think about my dad, who was in World War II, and he was a musician, and we always just thought he was a little extra, so the kids say now. But yeah, that's some experiences that anything artistic, I can certainly resonate with that. And that kind of segues into my next question. What is the legacy or narrative that you hope your work leaves behind?
Well, I'm hoping that it leaves behind a remembrance and an honor that our future generations can use to help them or to keep that history going, especially now with what's going on politically, to keep that in the forefront of their life. And it's a support kind of thing. So my legacy is to uh, keep that going, keep that spirit going in the future. And I try to do that with my grandkids, to keep that going. I constantly remind them of the past, even though some of them don't listen, but I
they will.
So, yeah, so that's the legacy I have to everything I do to be an example for our future.
Excellent, excellent. Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
No, just that I appreciate it, and I would like to at least, because this is a interview with veterans, I would just like to share that in hopes that other people will see this interview and have an idea as to how to get past the PTSD. I would like to share my poem that I made.
Please do.
Okay, my poem is on this piece right here. That's the piece I was talking about.
Okay.
And it has it's about PTSD. And it states that I have PTSD, a post-traumatic stress disorder. I have mood swings at any given time. I can be on fire, burning in rage. I can be as calm as a sleeping baby. I can feel neutral at any time. I can hibernate like a hermit. I can feel protected by the guardian angel. And yet I still feel pride, honor, and commitment for my country. And each one of those segments are in this piece where the colors, I have fire, I have the angel wings, I have the colors for mood changes on it. And then I have a question because PTSD is a big question. Everybody deals with it a different kind of way.
Yes.
So.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Oh my goodness. You're going to make me cry. That was beautiful. What do you think about creating next? I forgot to ask you that.
I'm working on a project because I'm going to be the featured artist at the Gullah Geechee Heritage Festival in November the 7th.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm working on quilted pieces for that and other art and painted work. And I'm also going to do a quilt to have a raffle at this festival. So that's what I'm working on now.
Well, thank you for taking some time out to talk with me today. Of course, we thank you for your service. We're wishing you well, and we're going to let you get back to work.
I appreciate it.
You have a wonderful day.
You do the same. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.